Pastor Moss, where is your basket?
You know what?
Where is your
Right over there on the, thank you, on the edge there. She asked about my basketball. This woman is concerned about the man of God being taken care of. And so I don't have to call Creflo Dollar. I got her right here. So now it's right here. Okay, it's good. Right up here. Yeah, the question you asked was what? Will the people in heaven be able to see the people in hell? Well, I tell you, evidently, based upon what the Bible seems to indicate, God does not care about us knowing about the sufferings of those in hell. Am I right? Am I talking out of school? Evidently he doesn't because of what?
What was the
The
question?
question was, would the people in heaven be able to see the people that are in hell? To know what's going on there? Is God going to put a cover over it so it won't see it? Or
If there's a great gulf between the two,
does that mean because there's a great gulf you won't be able to see?
No.
unless you got
I
binoculars.
don't think he.
Oh,
is
unless
it
you got, thank you.
necessary-
Theologian says unless you got binoculars.
Would it be necessary for us to
That
see
ain't
it?
even funny. Well,
It's not necessary for us to see that, would it be?
well, now, we don't know whether it would be necessary. Whatever is necessary is what God deems.
Right.
Now, whether he will deem it necessary or not, I don't know.
Because we would see some of our loved ones and their friends and associates and stuff.
Yeah, you sure would.
That's stressful.
You say what?
That would be stressful.
Is it going to be stressful for God?
For me,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's deal. Now, me and my sister got to deal again. We in the dark. It'll be stressful for you? Why?
because I wouldn't want to see them.
Why?
I feel sorry.
You feel sorry for them? Tell me this. Tell me this though, in your analysis. Y'all please, I know y'all ready. Will God feel sorry for them?
Huh?
Will God?
Of course.
So God, will God feel more sorry for them than you?
No. I mean, yes.
Yeah? Oh no. You got that? That's too deep for me. So you gonna be more sorry to
He
him?
would, because even my love is not greater than his.
Oh,
So I know it would be far greater.
So,
sorrowfulness
so
than
do
mine.
you think God's gonna know they're there and look at them in there?
Yeah, he can do that because he's God.
Okay, so can God share the way he feels with you?
You don't have to.
But he might, huh?
But he might.
So if he shares that with you, and you understand like God understands, because that's what
I
it's
can't
about.
understand like God.
Oh, he will help you to understand. He doesn't say you'll ever reach it, but he wants you to understand like he does. We're going to be still learning in heaven.
Yeah.
We're not going to stop learning just because we're down here.
Yeah.
So maybe once we understand the love of God, I ain't saying for sure. All I'm doing is challenging what was said.
I know you are.
Because that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. Once you understand, like God understands, things might be easier for you to handle. But you got to get there to find out.
Right.
But I know one thing, he already showed me enough to shock me in Luke 16.
Right.
They're there.
Yeah.
Yes. Any other question? Before I go back, yes.
My father just passed away, and he was a saint. He was saving everything. And I was talking to a lady, and this is a question. She was saying she talked to her mother and stuff like that, and
To a mother.
yeah, she said her mother passed away.
Uh-huh.
She talks to her mother.
Uh-huh.
That's
She need help.
yes, okay, yes,
She need help.
yes, yes.
You ain't talking to the dead. You got a problem there. Yeah, but time to call a cult center.
My question is, even though I know I probably can't, I can't talk to my father, will I feel his spirit or something like that?
Oh, feel the spirit how?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
Well, you got me, brother. 'Cause how would you know if you felt the spirit?
No, not.
How would you know if you felt somebody? I like that deep talk. That's deep. I feel your spirit. How would you know? Have you ever felt their spirit when they was on the earth?
Can I answer?
No. Let's talk to him now. Let's talk to him. Have you felt somebody's spirit when they're on the earth? Everybody, people say it, right? Y'all just help me. I'm trying to define what it means when someone tells me I felt your spirit. I've been married for 47 years. I never felt her spirit. I didn't feel the spirit of my kids. I knew them, but when they came in, I said, oh, I know you're here. I feel your spirit.
You can feel some people's energy when you're in a room.
Energy.
Because when I was a CNA,
Right.
when I was a CNA, I took care of people, and I remember one particular man passed, and I was the only one in the room with him, and it was odd because he had just passed, but it was like I felt like it was like energy in the room still. And then there was another person who had passed, and when I walked in, it just felt like an empty room, literally. So I don't know why that was.
Me neither.
I'm not saying, because I'm not God, I don't know everything. I'm not saying I saw a ghost or nothing, and I don't believe in ghosts, but I know how I felt.
Oh, well,
And I've took care of people who have been alive 1 minute and died the next, and I got their bodies ready for
But
them to be
what
picked
happens, I hear
up.
what you said, but only thing I'm just saying, I'm not there, but I don't know what it means to feel somebody's energy.
It's like,
That's something
it's
I've read in the
almost
New
like-
Age, but nothing, I don't
Haven't
see.
you been in a room with your back turned, you're sitting,
Uh-huh.
and your kid sneaks up on you, and you're like, and you turn around?
No, they don't sneak up on me.
Okay.
I can hear them coming. I can smell them. Now, ain't no energy. I smell them coming. I know, I went around them all the time. But see, there's terms that people use. All I'm trying to say is this. And then, and I'm not saying that you're in the New Age, but that I've read that stuff before. I feel the energy. I feel the spirit. All I'm saying is, it's esoteric. By esoteric, we mean mystical. You can't explain how it is. Maybe it does happen. Maybe there's all kinds of things that happen. But it's not something that, but I know what you mean, and I'm not discounting
Every
you.
situation
But in
is
terms of it,
different and depends on
when you said, well, I feel their spirit, what did you mean by that?
When I,
She's in heaven,
yes,
how you gonna feel the spirit?
I'm just asking for it.
I know, but I'm just asking you, how would that happen? Who told you? What gave you that idea?
No, because I said I was at a funeral and the lady was saying,
Oh, the lady was saying.
yeah, that's what I said. The lady said she still talks to her mother.
Oh, but we know that you're not supposed to talk to the dead.
That's
That's
right.
what I think.
You're forbidden to do that. So the thing to say is, oh, well, I know you unbiblical,
Yeah.
but now you're gonna come out of there, my brother. Maybe I can feel the spirit too. Yeah, we got to be careful that we make sure that what we believe fits a biblical worldview. Now, you guys understand me. I am never attacking you. But when you come up with ideas, they got to be attacked biblically. Okay? Because if you open up a door, the devil will come into it. Okay? The devil can fool you. He can come and sound like your mama or daddy. Yeah, they're spirits, all right. You said there's not ghosts. Ghosts mean spirit. They're real. But it's not the spirits of your loved ones that's coming for dinner and coming in the house, rubbing in your bed. It's demons. If an angel comes, he's going to reveal himself to be an angel. Be careful. Okay? Now, if you're not accepting, all I'm going to say to you today, I showed you the Bible. Keep using it. But all the language, if your language that you're using, you pick up the New Age man, and I've got a book on mysticism. I'm going to bring it down. It'll be a part of your lesson. Book on mysticism. Show you how those guys talk. That's where you get that energy. All that is from them. Now, that doesn't mean that you're practicing that. Just to let you know, be careful of the stuff you pick up. Because some of it is not biblical. Y'all know my whole thing has been biblical. Forget my opinion. Okay? In the Bible, the thing that happens like that ghost, you don't talk to the dead. And if you don't talk to the dead, I doubt if you should be feeling their energy. And me, I have been at the bedside of many dead folk. Many. I'm a pastor. Right there, they died. And I'm going to tell you something. I didn't feel no energy. And I didn't feel no spirit.
Well, that
That's
may
just
just be
me.
you. but
I'm just saying.
that's
I didn't say nothing about anybody else, did I? I said I didn't. And I don't see anything in the Bible that tells you that you should.
No, it's not that you should.
Or that you would.
It's-
That you should or
but
would.
It's still, I'm saying that
It happened.
It could be a
happened.
personal experience that somebody had.
And for me, because I've worked with people like that, and I've never, like, some people can't work with people that they see blood or see somebody die. I can. It doesn't affect me. It never
But the
has.
same is, I did too. I worked in the hospital. I worked with people who died. I worked in the military and people who
No,
died.
I'm saying, the fact that I'm saying that I can feel something different, I'm not saying that I'm using it unbiblically or
I'm just saying
biblically.
it.
I'm just merely expressing that I felt a difference.
I felt a difference. I felt a difference in me, but I didn't feel the person. I didn't feel the energy.
I'm not saying that he's or somebody talking to the dead.
No, I just told you, you didn't say that. You didn't say, listen, let me, Tarika, y'all don't let me finish. I didn't say you said any of those things. Let's stick on the energy of the person. That's what I'm getting at, the energy.
Yeah.
All I'm telling you is, you might not have meant it. I'm not trying to jump on you, but that's New Age language. You might not be using it in New Age sense.
No,
And then in your analogy, I bet you I've been around more dead folks than you. I worked in the hospital for years as a surgical technician. I was with a guy cut in half, died right there, and I didn't feel no energy from him. I felt sadness. But so all I'm telling you is, and I'm warning you, all of you, be careful of New Age language. Be careful of language that gets you out of the Bible. You can wind up, you can drift into a cult. And I've seen many people there. Okay? Yeah, be careful. Because all the language, when you start looking at it, you say, wow. Yes, sister, did you have your hand raised?
Oh, no, I just wanted to just kind of point out that you had said this before. You were talking about in the church and how the church is becoming so entertainment oriented.
Right.
And vice versa. So there's this marrying between the church and the entertainment industry. And I don't know if you're aware or not, but Beyonce has bought
I know.
the church. And then another thing.
The Roman Catholic Church called her to sing and to lead a mass.
What?
Yeah, Beyonce. And that's what's happening to the church. And notice this was Roman Catholics.
Yeah.
And they talked about something to help black people and all that. Had nothing whatsoever to do with the gospel of Jesus Christ. And that lets you see where we're headed. Okay? That lets you see where you're headed. And that's where we're going. And that is why we have to be mindful of what the Bible teaches. Because if you can do that, then you can do anything. And that's exactly what's happening.
And her fans many of her fans worship her.
Yeah.
They're very young and impressionable. I'm not talking about maybe the adult.
All right, well, speaking of worship now, back to Daniel. Notice prayer, verse 38, Daniel 11:38. But in his estate shall he honor the God of forces. And they really don't give a good background in terms of what actually this is. But he's worshiping a God other than the God of the Bible. And a God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold, silver, and with precious stones and present things. Verse 39, thus shall he do in the most strongholds with a strange God. Now, we don't have to know who the strange God is, since there are no other gods but one. Right. And so that everything that's masquerading as a god would in reality be what? A demon. Right? Demons. Demons can masquerade as gods. They really can. And in fact, we know this, and we know also that evidently the Antichrist is either heavily influenced, if not possessed, by the devil himself. Right? Possessed by the devil himself. Bible tells us, 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 13, here is the thing to watch. 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 13. Where it says, 2 Corinthians 11:13, for such are false apostles, right? Deceitful what? Workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. And no marvel, for who? Satan himself. Look at what he can do. Look at the power that he has. This is why you have to be careful of the kingdom of the occult and metaphysical stuff. I have a whole book in my library, the Metaphysical Dictionary. Horrendous. Share some of it with you. Not today. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into a what?
Angel.
The devil can so transform himself that he can appear as one of God's angels. You know, if he could do that, he could appear as one of your dead loved one or anything to deceive you. Once he sees you going in that direction, you better believe he's going to try to do it. Just like a boxer who's hit you in the ring and then sees you have a weakness in certain areas. What that boxer going to do? Get hit on that same to get you. That's right. They're going to try. Going to always hit you in your weak area. So make sure that you're buffered against this. So he says here, notice, it's no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. The devil knows how to play a good moral game to make you think that he is a follower of God, when in actuality he is nothing but a deceiver. Because works can't save you, only Jesus Christ can. So if a person talks consistently about all the good they do and good, just like, oh, Oprah Winfrey's wonderful. She gives so much to the poor. I applaud her for giving to the poor. I applaud the fact that she builds these places in Africa, all this stuff. Great! But all that stuff will not get you into heaven unless you acknowledge that Jesus Christ is it. There are people, sinful people, who do good things. But the best thing you can do is to confess Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. And so it's easy to be deceived by the kingdom of the occult. And I don't think necessarily that the Antichrist is deceived. Okay? I think he's going to know it's the devil and not care. He wants power. So, verse 39, thus shall he do. In the most, Daniel chapter 11, verse 39, where it says, thus shall he do in the most strongholds with a strange God, whom he shall acknowledge, and increase with glory, and he shall cause them to rule over many, and they shall divide the land for gain. And at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north. So we can identify those as nations in terms of Russia. There are nations that he will have trouble with, but what happens is he's going to conquer them all. It says, and shall come against him like a whirlwind with chariots. Now, if this is the future, the chariot's not going to be brought back. But God has to use language, if he's writing to Daniel, that Daniel would what?
Understand.
What would Daniel see with a tank? What would that look like to him? Whoa! What's that, Lord? See, he wouldn't know how to describe it. What would he do? So God uses language to him that he can understand, but we have to extrapolate this to the future because what happens is it's futuristic language here. And with horsemen, and with many ships, and he shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass over. And he shall enter into the what? Glorious land? What land is that?
Israel.
The target of Antichrist will be what? Israel. Oh yeah. The Jews. The king of David, David's throne, the Davidic throne, all that. Got to go there. Okay? So it says, that's his target. Always the target is the Jews. He shall enter also into the glorious land. And many countries shall be what? Overthrown. The Antichrist is not going to play. Will the United States be one of the countries that is overthrown by the Antichrist? Or will the Antichrist become a part, will the United States become a part of the Antichrist system? That is, we don't know. But that is the question that scholars are dealing with now. Just look at, they don't know either. They don't know either. But whatever it is, the United States is either going to be destroyed or be a part of the Antichrist kingdom. One or the other. Okay? So it seems more likely that it'll be what?
Part of the Antichrist.
Well, part of the...
I think it'll be part of the kingdom. I think politically.
Just looking at it logically.
Go ahead, Mrs. Merritt. Looking at it logically. I like that. Give me your
I
life.
mean, we see everything in the United States with a world, I mean, it's a worldview. I mean, all of these things that are happening that are against God. They don't want God in schools. You believe in marriage that is ungodly. You believe in killing and murdering the babies. You believe in all of these things that America has embraced. And then we want to say, well, we're not going to be destroyed. So logically, I'm just saying, you got all of this stuff that you believe that, I'm talking about the United States, believe that is right, which is wrong, but still we want to go and be with the Lord. We don't want to be destroyed.
Well, it's not whether we want to be destroyed, it's whether we will be. And what happens is the argument that you make is a good argument. We are becoming, America's not like it used to be.
No.
All we can say, even from the beginning, never were we like a theocracy. We can say that we were a country heavily influenced by Christianity, but that influence is waning like crazy. Our churches are weak. I mean, Jeffries got condemned for talking about people going to hell. Okay? I mean, by politicians. Yeah, this was when he went to the embassy and prayed. Okay? And he didn't say that there. But people who had studied him, you know, they go back to find out the critics what he did wrong. Oh, I'll tell you what he did wrong. He's a hater. Why? Because he said Jews are going to hell. Well, Jews who don't believe in Christ are going there. And also he said something else that enraged him, that Mormonism is a cult. Go over to Baker's Bible bookstore and buy the book, The Kingdom of the Cults, and see if Mormons aren't in there. That's what Christians believe. But now, that has becoming hate speech. And things seem to be moving quickly. How long will it be when that kind of talk? And another thing, have you noticed that now churches who try to help people who are transgender change? Try to help people who are homosexuals change. Laws are being passed against that, and you can go to jail. And soon churches will be shut down. That's my educated guess.
And this is America.
If they come against these kind of things. That we're becoming like Europe anyway. So maybe, and as quick as it's happening, it wouldn't surprise me that we get co-opted right into nothing but another one of the Antichrist nations. That is possible. And tell me this, what kind of opposition is the church putting to all this now? The church, okay, you guys Monday night, you look at how wide the gate, you see that the church right now is becoming a social gospel church. Okay? Let me say something. Please don't stone me, don't stone me. The black church already there.
All right. Amen.
Ain't nobody hit me? The black church is already there. Every time you see black ministers in public, they talking about politics. Okay? I listen to Mildred Gaddis. I listen to everybody. Y'all did not listen to it, right? Yeah, I do. Okay? And every preacher she have on there, they don't say nothing about Jesus. In fact, they said, a preacher, we're supposed to love everybody. You can be against somebody. Y'all don't like me now. Okay, I'm telling y'all. I ain't coming back there. I'm just telling you the truth. When you're supposed to love everybody. Okay? Even your opponents, you're supposed to love them. You got preachers on there. I hate Trump. I hope he dies. Wait. You're supposed to be disagreeing with the
Going to your church.
man, right? So what I'm saying is, already, if what we call, because I hate those terms, black church, white church, there's no such thing. There's one church. But what you call the black church, it's political. That's what it's into. It's already, the film that some of you saw, black church is already moving there. Social gospel. You can have a social gospel without Jesus. Okay? Now, not just the black church, but remember, Rick Warren, same place. Saddleback, he's also social gospel. Social gospel. That is becoming where the church is. Jesus is out of it. Okay? So, the country, that's happening because the country now is not doctrinal anymore. Okay? Just Jesus, we want to talk about Jesus, but not the Jesus of the Bible. Right. And so therefore, very much, and what you just said, Sister Mary, it could be either way, couldn't it? Either we're destroyed or we become a part of the Antichrist kingdom. More and more, we're becoming like Europe. Okay? And churches in Europe are disappearing, friends. Disappearing. Okay? All right, notice here, as when we look at it, it says, he shall enter into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown, but these shall escape out of his hand. Even Edom, Moab, chief of the children of Ammon. Now, we believe that this is extrapolating to future nations. Verse 42, and he shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. That we know still is around and exists. Didn't change its name at all. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt, and the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. So we see that all of the world, Antichrist, to get to the place where he's over the world, will involve warfare, and it will involve battle. He's going to win them all. He's going to win them all. And then just, what kind of power will he be wielding? Will it be just, the Bible tells us that he's going to have more at his disposal than just nuclear weapons, right? Yeah. What can this guy do?
Supernatural stuff.
Like what?
Make the image talk.
Well, the biggest one that we talk about in terms of warfare, if you can call fire down from heaven, you somebody. And that's what it says in Revelation he's going to be able to do, right? Right. Can you imagine that kind of power? That kind of power that he himself possesses. And he couldn't possess that unless who? God allows him to do it. That is going to blow people's minds. Okay? This person, so therefore, what could give you credibility as being God more than something like that? Where you speak and fire comes down.
Right.
And for a world that's already darkened in terms of who Jesus is and doesn't care about biblical prophecy,
Like to be
okay?
entertained.
Wow. Okay? Wow. Tell me something else. Something else. So, then it says, verse 44, but tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy and utterly make away many. And he shall plant the tabernacle of his palace between the seas in the glorious what? Holy mountain. Okay? Okay. In other words, he's going to rule from where? Man, that's the good place for the Antichrist. Can you imagine? Okay? The city of David, okay? The city of Christ. He's going to come, he's going to rule there. Going to rule there. And shall plant the tabernacle of his palace between the seas and the glorious holy mountain. Yet shall he come to his end, and none shall help him. Okay? So right here, Daniel is sounding a lot like what we see over in Revelation. Okay? Very much. And it's amazing how much here that he sees. Okay? A parallel prophecy, in a sense. Okay? He's looking at the end of time from his perspective. Okay? And so that's where we're coming. Then, Daniel chapter 12.
Yes.
And at that time shall Michael what? Stand up. The great what? Prince. Which stands for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of what?
Trouble.
What's that time called? Tribulation. All right? We see that Michael, the archangel, what kind of angel is he? Archangel is on the scene here. Okay? It says that there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to the same time. And at that time the people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. What does it mean when the tribulation will be, what it says here, a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation? Why will tribulation be unlike anything that the world has seen in a very long time?
Lots of death.
God's wrath.
God's wrath, first of all, lots of deaths, like you say, but God's wrath. So God's wrath in
And
telling
judgment
what?
on the Jews.
The seals will be broken. Okay, there's Tamika, she's talking about them seals. I'm looking for some more general, but I'm glad she's getting biblical. She got the seals going on, and her hands ran out, the seals are going to be broken.
Well, there'll be three wraths.
People are going to beg to die.
People are going to be begging to die. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what's happening in Hawaii right now?
Oh, yeah, with that
Can you
volcano.
imagine? Did y'all see that footage?
Oh, yeah.
That's Hawaii. I looked at that, I said, you got to be kidding me. First I thought it was a fiction movie. I thought it was an advertisement for something that Spielberg done did.
Right.
You see this black stuff metal up there coming out like the blob, y'all saw the blob back in the day? And it's smoking on fire, and then burning houses, wiping out everything. And Hawaii was the place I wanted to go. No more.
Yeah,
And then
I did too.
I could not imagine seeing smoke and fire coming up, and I'm still staying there. Let's go back home. No, let's get out of here. Now, so what happens is, but tribulation, remember, the tribulation, the reason why it is so awesome is that it's not just trouble in one place. It's not just war. It's not just, come on, it's not just war. Okay?
Disease.
It also is disease and starvation. You got famine happening everywhere. Okay? We got, yeah, there you go. We got geological conditions. In other words, everything is all messed up. Okay? We've got problems, geological stuff happening on the earth. We've got political stuff happening on the earth. We've got everything. We've got also demons on the earth. We got Satan ruling through Antichrist on the earth. Tribulation is like nothing ever seen before. Nothing ever been seen before. And then with all of this that's going on, okay, there is no church to stop. No church that God is working. No prayers in the right. We got the 100 and what? 44,000 who are witnessing during this time can't be touched. But other than that, boy, You got people who can be possessed by demons and nobody to cast them out, pretty much. So everything goes crazy from our standpoint during the tribulation period. Okay? Everything. But we know that all of this stuff is still under what? God's control. God's control. The world is coming. The judgment of the world is happening. Nothing has been like it ever before. Yeah, yes, wait, the guy in the back, he finally done raised his hand. He didn't sit back quiet long enough. Yes, sir.
Pastor Moss, I came across information. I know there's a scripture in the Bible that says, as in the days of Noah, so will be in the end of the age of
Right.
the church before the, Armageddon, before the end of everything, that the giants will roam the earth again. And I forget exactly.
Well, in Luke 17, it doesn't exactly say that. But what it does say is this. That lets you know how bad it's going to be. Sodom. That's in Luke 17, and Gomorrah. It's going to be that bad. And listen, it's getting bad, y'all. It's getting bad. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Where Sigmund Freud's dream is coming true. How many of you know who Sigmund Freud is? Guy, the id, ego, superego, where he was an atheist who said that God is nothing but a delusion of man. Man created God because he wanted to create a comforter, so he came up with this idea of God. Now, of course, philosophically, what he said makes no sense, because how could man come up with the concept of an all-holy God that's going to destroy folks? No, God is God. What Sigmund Freud said just didn't make it. But Freud criticized everything, and he said this. He said, Sigmund Freud said, and one of the worst things about Christianity and the Christian religion is their suppression of sexuality. When he says Christianity warps the brains of kids, okay, because of its suppression. He talked about this id, ego, super. So it warps their brain. Okay? Well, now Freud's got his wish. Because in school they're teaching everything to the kids. Homosexuality, transgender, all of it. They're teaching that. Right? The world is becoming, sir, like Sodom and Gomorrah. It's becoming that way. Look at it. Don't say it's already got that way. You ain't seen nothing yet. You haven't seen anything yet.
Pastor Vaughn.
Wait till you're looking from behind bars because you come against this stuff. Yeah.
Okay, will that have an effect also on the economy situation? You know, like the stock market crashing and the money is not going to be worth what it is now? It ain't worth nothing now.
Well, mark of the beast. That's the big problem. Yeah, it's going to get worse. But there's a solution. There's a solution. Everybody take the mark and you'll be able to eat. Now, remember what you told me last time, Benita. I think you still, now you're thinking about it. Now she's questioning it.
Oh, what?
Because she was telling me she going to hide from the mark of the beast.
No,
That's what you told me. You're going to be where they can't find you.
Oh, well, that's for sure.
Drones everywhere.
I'm not going to be here.
How do y'all know ain't no way you can hide? Where you going, Benita? I don't know where she's going.
I ain't going to be here.
Turn where this guy took us. Luke chapter 17. Yeah, just to see this. We've seen this before. But notice what it describes here is because I always used to ask myself, what's so bad about this passage? Because what it says at first is, Luke 17:26. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. Talk about the last days, right? They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage. In other words, what I used to look at it and say, what's so bad about that? Well, what that is doing, Sister Merritt, it is describing a secular world who's just living their lives, marrying and all that kind of stuff, but giving no regard to God at all. It's not like everything is going to just abruptly, sin will continue. Sodom continued in sin for a long time. Okay? We had the Canaanites. They continued some 400 years living in sin till God judged them. Okay? And so therefore, men are going to have a sinful lifestyle and society is going to be secular without God. Or the God they have will be a false God or Mystery Babylon. Okay? So, then, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and did what? Destroyed them all. Likewise also as it was in the days of Lot. They eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded, but the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. So the world is going to exist, but it's going to exist in a very sinful state. And in fact, Right now, sin is becoming so common now, it's amazing. Where churches are being attacked, when people want to come for counseling about their condition, then you got protesters saying it's evil of you to change people from the way they were born to be transgendered or to be gay. And where is the outcry against it? Why isn't there an outcry against it? Why aren't the churches up in arms against it? Maybe we have to do what T.D. Jakes recommended.
T.D. Jakes recommended something?
Yeah, he recommended something. I'm gonna play it for you. I'm gonna play it for you. Y'all gotta come Monday night now. Y'all gotta see some stuff. Because T.D. Jakes said, well, the Supreme Court has decided this, so I don't care about that. I care about what happens in the church, not about what they did in the Supreme Court. Then, after he said that, some other people came up and interviewed him, okay? And when you see this, Monday night, not next week because we got Memorial Day, we remember Monday. But when you see it, if you can tell me what he meant, I still don't understand. That guy got a gift of gab that's unbelievable. Guy asked him the question, well, can the homosexual, the LGBT, OFOC community, because that's where it's going now, it's got everything, you don't know, it's got everything. Can that community survive, can that community survive along with the church? Okay? Can that, the LBG community, can they survive with the church? You know what T.D. Jakes said? Oh, sure.
What?
Yes!
What?
Sure they can. That's what I couldn't understand. They can, because we got the convolvulation of this, we can do this, that, I don't know what he said. Okay? But what happens is that there is no strong opposition coming at this, at all the sin from the church. We should be snatching our kids out of school like crazy.
That's right.
To see what is going on. We're getting ready for what the Bible says, apostasy. We're headed that way. We're headed that way.
I found that scripture that was referencing that correlates to what you just read, as it was in the days of Noah, Luke 17:26. It was in Genesis 6:4, talking about the history of Noah, the causes of the flood. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in into the darkness of men, and they bare children to them, which the same became mighty men, which were old men of renown. So that's where I got the idea and saw a lot of references to that online of the Nephilim, the giants coming back.
Yeah, you have those who believe that they were actually, well, believing they were giant men is no problem. Some believe that these were actually demons who were, on the earth at this time and had sex with the women. Okay? The only people who had problems or were condemned here were men. Angels aren't mentioned at all. Nephilim, and then the word in Hebrew for Nephilim, giant men, it really, in Hebrew, it does mean great men. It doesn't mean that they couldn't have been of large stature, but even if they were large stature, doesn't necessarily mean that they were demons necessarily, but controlled by it. But just to say that definitely what was happening during the time of Noah, here's where you're right on point, that these kinds of things will be going on at that time. There will be violence like never before, and you guys are seeing violence now, like never before. Everything is just going out of kilter. That's exactly where we are headed. But Jesus Christ, the only good thing is Jesus Christ is coming back.
Amen.
Amen. Vote, make your vote, but there will be no political solution to the problems that are before us. So never get wrapped up in political parties. Make sure that where we are, our trust and our faith is in Jesus Christ. Give the Lord a hand clap. Y'all don't want me out. I'm out of here. My basket is there. Y'all ask me all these questions. Let's see what y'all do in my basket. Let's see what y'all do to the basket. Come here. This girl, the only one, she cares about my basket. Come on. She asked me if I forget my basket. She said, come here. So y'all can't condemn her. She's the one who cares. So what I want her to do is take this basket and hold it. Now look at this white-haired beauty. All the maturity that she has. Who can resist coming to put something in
I can't resist.
There you go.
Can't resist.
Please come and give. After you give it, you're free to go.
Pastor Moss. when a person is possessed by a demon, like let's say it's one demon in them, do they know that they're possessed, or can they sense that there's something wrong?
They know something's wrong. They sure do. Now remember, these are unbelievers, not
Right.
believers. So they may know something's wrong. They don't know what is wrong. Now the thing is, in a sense, if they run into a Christian, it's great stuff. Because the only way they can be delivered is by accepting Jesus Christ as Savior. So every person that's ever been delivered from a demon is a Christian.
So therefore, the Antichrist, when the demon enters the Antichrist,
Yeah, do it with you. Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Monday won't be, yeah. By the way, hermeneutic class at the hotel Saturday, we're doing that.
Oh, okay.
It ain't on Memorial's Day. Mother's Day comes Monday.
I guess I'll cut it off.